Which top sets are worth collecting and which ones should you maybe skip and save your money on? Well, there's a lot of options. Let's talk about them. One of the most common questions that I get from newer collectors is it is so overwhelming with all of the different product releases. Which sets are interesting, which ones are fun to rip, which ones are good to collect, to invest in, etc. So I figured let's go through and break down basically every single major Topps product release. Now, as expected, this one's probably going to be a bit of a longer one. I'm going to have down below the video split up so that if you're looking for a specific product, it's going to be clear and obvious where you can jump to that product. But I'm going to cover every single one of them, so let's get to it. So, should you rip it or skip it? Let's talk about it. Now, I estimated there are about 43 individual sets. As I said, there are some Sapphire variants, things like that, and I'm sure that I'm missing some, but I tried to go through, looked at all the previous checklists on Topps website, and get a sense of which main product releases there are. You can get boxes for as cheap as, $30 or as much as $10,000. Each set, of course, has its own unique checklist, case hits, things to collect, unique, nuances, etc. I'm going to touch on that here and there, but the biggest thing that I think is also very important is that despite having maybe the same entry price, aka the price for the box, not all sets share the same market, so that's also a very important thing to recognize. So I'm going to break down each set on 4 factors: price, availability, market value, and of course, fun. So our very first set that we're going to look at is Topps Series 1. This is the first release from every single year, generally. Series 1 for 2025, which you guys can see right here. A little preview of the box, as well as what one of the cards looks like with Paul Skeens, is going to be coming out in just a few weeks here. Series 1 is a paper card. This has a huge print run. Largest of, I think, any of the ones that Topps does, because they have the months and months in advance to be able to really print these things. The checklist for this has pretty much been determined since, the end of last season would be my guess. So probably a decent chance you don't see, say, Juan Soto in a Mets uniform because, well, they have been printing this set for a while. You might not. It all depends on kind of when they started, but because of how long they have to do this, they are able to really jack up that print run and make it very available. One big thing is that they're going to get a lot of these late call-ups. So some guys like James Wood, Dylan Cruz, they got called up, July, August, etc. That was too late to get them into 2024 products. So despite the fact that they played in 2024, they are going to be in a rookie in 2025's product. Also, large variants of boxes. This one probably has the largest range. I mean, you've got fat packs, hanger packs, blaster boxes, mega boxes, value boxes, Costco collector boxes, regular hobby, jumbo hobby, you name it. There's so many different things. Overall, I think it's a solid set. Price is pretty good. Super available because of the print run. The market value is not huge, and to me, it's not the most fun set to rip. It generally has some unique inserts and things like that, but I don't find that there's a ton of huge chases, especially because the market value just isn't necessarily there. That if you hit something big, it is fun to chase, open the newest rookie set and things like that. But overall, to me, it's not the best. Jumping, though, after that is going to be Series 2, and it's going to be very, very similar. Its availability is a little bit lower just because it's printed after the season starts, basically. Very, very similar to Series 1. It's paper cards. What's unique here, though, is that it has your later free agent signing, early season call-ups, things like that. So your Jackson Merrill, who made the opening day roster with the Padres last year, well, even though he made the opening day roster, Series 1 was already printed by the time that, spring training was starting. So he didn't have a chance to make it into that, but he did have some cards in Series 2, for example. Really big example for this year in 2025 product is most likely going to be a Roki Sasaki. Now, we saw that with Shohei Ohtani. Because of the way that the posting system works, they get posted in the new year, which just means there's not enough time for Topps to get their rookie cards into Series 1. So if you're looking to chase Roki Sasaki this year, it's probably going to be in Series 2. That's where you get some of those later, free agent signings, as well as some of those early season call-ups. There's still, with this product, is a large variance of boxes. Not necessarily as large as Series 1, but it's basically the same. I just dinged it a little bit in terms of its overall score because it's just slightly less available due to a smaller print run. Then the final kind of flagship, these 3 products are referred to as flagship, is Update Series. Now this comes out later in the season. Again, paper cards, smaller print run. This set is where you're going to see most of the guys who get called up early to mid-season, as well as guys that were traded. Historically, you see there be, this was made for, it was originally called Topps Traded, aka guys that got traded during the season. Now, obviously, there's a bigger focus on rookie cards, on call-ups, things like that. There's a certain point and a certain cutoff. There is not a set date, but there's generally a time period in which Topps will say, you got called up too late, you're just going to be in next year's product. James Wood, fantastic example. But Paul Skeens, for example, was able to make it into Update Series. He was not in Series 2. So I think that this one, again, is even less available. I think the print run is even smaller than Series 2. It's basically the same price point. It's basically the same market value and fun. So I think it goes down a little bit for me from 1 to 2 to 3. But overall, they're very, very similar products. Now jumping into the big boy, Topps Chrome. This is the Chrome cards. These tend to have larger market value, as you can see. I'd say I put their market value at 10. Large print run, big thing here, MVP buyback. The MVP buyback is a program that Topps has been doing where if you pull the base card or a parallel of that base card of the player who wins the MVP, they will generally offer to buy it back at a local card store. Nice thing here, that provides a higher floor for this product. I think it makes it more fun because there's more options to hit nice things. You get on-card autos. Most big rookies tend to make it into this. If you get that early season call-up, you may end up as a short print in Series 2, but generally make it into Topps Chrome. We've seen that with Julio Rodriguez and Bobby Witt. We saw that obviously with the Jackson Churio, Jackson Merrill, Jackson Holidays of the world, etc. Very, very large checklist, both in terms of just the number of players as well as in terms of the autos. You're guaranteed to hit generally in the hobby formats, and the problem there, though, is the checklist is 150 players long. So your auto checklist, it's really tough to hit a good auto, but it's a great product. Overall, 31, that's one of the best scores that you'll see. The price is, I gave the price of 4 because it's gotten to be really expensive. I mean, a blaster box being $40 this year was tough. It is fairly available, though. There is a retail format of this as well as hobby. It's about as good as it gets market value-wise. Really, I think the market value for these cards track to the expense and the value that it is. And it's a very, very fun product. I gave it a 9. Now you've got Chrome. Now we've also got Chrome Update. The big key with Chrome Update is this, the MLB debut patch cards. Now it has a smaller print run, still obviously has Chrome cards, but these patch cards are the huge chase. It's the reason why we have seen 2024 Topps Chrome prices literally 3x in value just because the Paul Skeens has not been pulled yet. So I think that it's really, really, it is the biggest reason why this product is so high market value wise and in terms of, just overall score is these MLB debut patches. And that helps prop up. The market value is a little bit lower than Chrome, and that's because generally you're seeing more of the rookie debut cards, which hold less value than the true rookie cards for a lot of the top rookies. Also, the autos, as I mentioned here, are the sticker autos. So I think it has a little bit of a dip, but it's not really massive, and it really depends on the player. If you're looking at Paul Skeens, his market value is great in this product because he did not have cards in Topps Chrome. But Ellie De La Cruz, for example, had a rookie card in Topps Chrome, so his rookie card in Chrome Update is therefore less valuable. His autos in Chrome Update are generally less valuable. Sticking with Chrome, Cosmic Chrome, I think it's one of the most fun sets. Now, I gave the price a 3, and I gave that a asterisk because of the debate between market value and actually retail value. This year, 2024 Topps Cosmic Chrome was on the website a $285 box. At that price, I think it's pretty good. I'd probably give that a 5 in terms of market value, or in terms of that price. But it's an online exclusive, as you see here, and that means that it's really hard to get. Now, breakers have a pretty easy time to get it, but for you, it was the lottery, and if you don't get the lottery, then you're paying the market price, which is where I base this pricing at, and the market price tends to get pretty crazy. Right now, these are $500 boxes roughly, which is just really, really tough. That's why the availability is also 4, because it is a harder product to get. Great market value and great fun. It's one of the better sets that Topps makes. Its scores hurt, I think, based on the price and availability, but it's a really, really cool product. And if you can get it at the actual manufacturer retail suggested price, aka what Topps sells it at, very, very worth considering. Sticking with Chrome, Topps Chrome Black. This is a unique product. It's a more mid-end product. As you see on the box here, you've got 4 cards per box. That's it. You get 1 encased auto, and then a 3-card pack. That's it. It does have a shorter print run, so your base cards tend to have a little bit more value because there's just not many of them. You're getting 3 cards per box. That means there's not that many of them. On-card autos, which is really, really nice. It is a hobby-only product. They do have good market value, but it doesn't necessarily keep up with the regular Topps Chrome. It is a fun product. It's pretty middle of the road in my view. Chrome Logofractor. Now this is a variant kind of off of just Topps Chrome. Similar to Sapphire, I thought that Chrome Logofractor deserved its own consideration because Topps has been really kind of pushing this as its own product. It's a more mid-end set, Chrome cards. You're getting 2 Logofractor packs per box. So it's just a different way for Topps to kind of extend the Topps Chrome product life cycle, but it's basically a mega box. We're going to talk about Bowman in a second here, but really you're getting 2 Logofractor packs, which have 5 cards each. You're really getting 10 cards in this box in general that are worth considering. Outside of that, it's all base cards. Price, had you asked me 2 or 3 years ago, the price would have been a 7 or 8 because the boxes were 60, 70 bucks. This year they jacked them up to like 140 bucks, which was just too expensive. So really got dinged there. This would have been a like 30 overall score if it wasn't for the increased price that Topps is charging. Availability, they have increased the print run, which has made it more available. This sat on Topps' website for a fairly long time. Has good market value, has good fun, but it's middle of the road, slightly upper middle of the road is what I would say. Platinum Anniversary, super cool product. One of my favorites, as you can see with the score of 31. It's really affordable. It's very available. There's both hobby and retail, so it's fairly easy to find. The market value is not the highest. The singles don't necessarily sell crazy well, but they are great looking cards. The throwback design, so this year's product will be, right here, 2024's product will be the 1955 Topps design, and they're just going to keep doing that for, forever, I would assume. So it's fun. 2023's class was the 1954 design. It's a great product. I think it's a ton of fun to open. It's affordable. It's available. If the market value is just a little bit better, this would be the best set that Topps makes, in my opinion. A newer set, Chrome Gilded. This is basically Topps Chrome Black, but gold, essentially. You get 3 Chrome cards, 3 or 4 Chrome cards, basically similar to a Chrome pack, but then instead of a sealed auto, you're going to get 1 gold framed auto out of the box. Hobby only. It is a higher end card or higher end set. Very expensive, like $600-700 a box. Very high risk. There is high reward. The market value on them, they do very well. The singles sell very well, but it's expensive. It's hard to find, and because of its high risk, I think that it gets dinged a little bit in terms of its fun. Now, going to Bowman, Topps' other kind of big product, and some key difference here is this first Bowman card. We're going to talk about it in a second. Now, Bowman has both paper cards and Chrome cards in it, despite what you're going to see in a second here in terms of Bowman Chrome. But the big thing with Bowman is your first Bowman card. Now, most people think of a player's rookie card. That's when they get called up to the major leagues. They make their initial appearance as a professional player. What Topps, or better yet, what Bowman has done is they also get a card that is called your first Bowman card, and that is your first card as a prospect. What's really big here is this tends to be the player's most valuable card generally. And why I think that is because there is only one first Bowman. There are other prospect cards, but there are no other cards that get the first Bowman designation. Rookie cards, there are rookie cards in Topps Chrome, in Topps Series 1 and Series 2, in Platinum Anniversary, etc. There is only one first Bowman card, so it makes that population on that card definitely a lot lower, which increases the market value. Now, Bowman is a little bit of a mix in terms of prospects. You're going to see some guys from the previous draft year, as well as some international players. Bowman is great in that you're seeing some retail products as well as hobby. You're getting the mega box format, which those kind of serve as their own type of box. They tend to have some of the numbered parallels, but they're all mojos, similar to the Logofractor boxes that we talked about earlier in the video. This is like that. You're going to get 2 packs that are mojo packs in the Bowman mega box. The rest of it's going to be base cards. But it's available because there's a lot of retail that's out there. There's lots of blaster boxes. There is a sapphire variant of this product. It's gotten to be expensive. Honestly, if we were just talking hobby, the price would be knocked down to like 2 or 3 probably, because it's gotten to be very expensive. But retail does make it a little bit more accessible, which at least is nice. It's fairly available. Market value is great because of that first Bowman card. And I think it's a fairly fun product, especially if you like to chase prospects. But I think that the time that it takes for prospects to become something, as well as the amount of base paper cards and base chrome cards that you get, make this just a little bit less fun. It just, I don't know, just doesn't match up to some of the other fun products that I've talked about thus far. Bowman Chrome. So we talked about Bowman Chrome cards in Bowman, but Bowman Chrome is another set that's also first Bowman cards. Yes. So these are all Chrome cards in this product. So you're not going to open this up and find a paper Bowman card. You're going to only find Chrome cards. This set tends to lean more towards international prospects, so really young guys, which big boom potential. A lot of these guys are really young, have big tools and upside, but that also means that you tend to have to wait a while to see some of these players. So the market tends to ebb and flow a lot on this product. Hobby only, there is a mega box that does exist, but the hobby only is an important thing because it makes some of the inserts and parallels and things like that just a little bit more valuable, because you're not competing with the print run of a retail product. That in Bowman, the Scouts Top 100 insert, for example, which is about the, talking about the top prospects in baseball. That insert has a huge print run because you get a bunch of those when you open Bowman blaster boxes. Whereas Bowman Chrome, that's not the case. The inserts in Bowman Chrome are only in Bowman Chrome. The Mega Box ones, yes, you can pull the inserts out of the Mega Box, but those are the Mojo parallels, which is a different variant of that card. So I think that the singles in that tend to maybe hold a little bit more market value, but at the same time, I also dinged it for market value because I think that they tend to drop quicker because these guys aren't necessarily as immediately relevant. You're also chasing current players, so you will see some rookies. So this product here that you're seeing, the 2022 Bowman Chrome, Bobby Witt's on the cover. He was a rookie. Now, those have solid value, but compared to, say, Topps Chrome rookies, it's just not as good, which is why the overall score on this is not as good. And we also have Bowman Draft. Bowman Draft is very similar to Bowman, but it's only players that got drafted that previous year. You're getting Chrome cards as well as paper cards. First Bowman card, again, is the big chase out of here. Pretty much all drafted players. Hobby only is the big kind of caveat here. There is no retail mega box, blaster box, nothing. If you're wanting to rip Bowman Draft, you got to rip a very expensive hobby box. And I mean, very expensive. Like jumbo, super jumbo this year, which is, you get 5 autos out of that, was like $1,000, which is crazy. Less in terms of availability, less in terms of price. I think market value does perform a little bit better. And I do think it's a fairly fun product because you're chasing guys that are more well-known from the prospect game because they were, a lot of times previously, you get a lot of the college bats in here where you're looking at a Wyatt Langford or a Paul Skeens who just were playing in the College World Series, but they also now have cards that are pro cards. So I think it does see a bit of a bump in fun, but still, it's a good product. I'm personally just not as big of a Bowman person as I am a Topps person. I like rookie cards better than prospect cards, but that's me, which is why you maybe see some of the impact here on these scores. Because again, this is just my opinion. Topps Holiday. Now this is an interesting one. Really good price-wise. It's really, there's not a hobby format. They basically make mega boxes and they sell them on Topps' website at hobby shops as well as at Target and Walmart, etc. Paper cards, you get a guaranteed hit in every box. So you're going to get guaranteed a relic card or an auto. Really, really fun. It's a Good open, good time to do it. Fairly available, great price point. The market value is not very good here, which is what really hurts its score. But overall, I think it's one of the better value products that you can get. Bowman's Best is one of, if not my favorite products that Topps makes. You get prospects, rookies, and stars in here generally. The checklist is pretty small, which is nice. Means that you're not necessarily going to pull a ton of no-name players. You're generally hitting guys that you know who they are, both in terms of prospects as well as in terms of rookies and stars. Hits are plentiful. Each hobby box has 4 autos, which is super cool. Very, very excited for this. Has some unique inserts. This is the him insert. Historically, it just has cool inserts. Comes at a fairly good price point, in my opinion, for what it is. Getting 4 autos. Fairly available. It generally has a pretty solid print run. It's easy to get even, months and months after its release. Has a good market value. It's not as good as Bowman. It's not as good as Topps Chrome, but it's still pretty good. And I think that it's about as fun as Gift for a Rip, given how many hits you're getting. Bowman Sterling. Bowman Sterling, Chrome cards, lots of hits. You get 5 autos per box. It's hobby only, so you're not going to find this at Walmart or anything like that. There are rookie cards in here, but it tends to lean prospect heavy. It's gotten to be fairly pricey, so I put it middle of the road price-wise, middle of the road availability. Market value, these tend to not sell as well as you would like, especially recognizing the price. So overall, I rank it as a lower tier product, but that's me. Bowman Platinum now. There's a lot of Bowman products. Bowman Platinum, we have not seen this for 2024 confirmed, so they may not be making it this year. I think they probably will, but we'll see whether or not it happens. Retail-only product. The cards are all like a foil, which is nice. It's kind of fun, therefore. But all paper cards. It's a mixed checklist, so you're getting some stars, rookies, prospects, etc. Comes in at a fairly good price point because it's retail-only, fairly available. But because of that, the market value is not necessarily the greatest. It's a good set. I just don't think it's a great set. Would be kind of how I would put it. One of my least favorite sets, and this might be a hot take, is Bowman Inception. These are thicker cards. Only prospects. It's a small box. You are getting, I think, 7 or 8 cards in a box. A couple autos. It's hobby only. I don't know. Market value is not really there for the singles generally. Because it's a small box, I think that it's less fun to open. It just takes less time. I mean, you're spending a few $100 and you're done in 30 seconds. So, Inception's a product that I'm not a huge fan of. Topps Inception, though, sees a bump up, and there's a couple of reasons for this. It is a high-risk product. It does have the rookies and stars, but because of that, you're pulling some of the more well-known players, and there is maybe a little market value. I also think that it is more affordable for the upside that it brings. It's still an expensive product. It's like $100-something a box, generally. But the cool thing that they have introduced is these first milestone cards. So very similar to Chrome Update. Well, this is not the first debut patch that the 101. This is the first base that the player was, ran on when they got their first hit. So just kind of a cool thing there. I think Inception's a fun product. It's a good product, just not a great product. Now to get to some throwback products. Heritage. Topps Heritage, really, really historic set. It's paper cards, throwback design. There's retail and hobby, so it's fairly available. Really big checklist. The big key on the market value, if it was not for the red ink autos, I think the market value would be a 1 or a 2, because really outside the autos, there's not a ton of big value on Heritage. But the red ink autos are one of the bigger chases. For rookie cards, very, 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 very valuable. So it's a good product. The hits are few and far in between. You're not guaranteed an auto in every single hobby box. So Heritage high number, it's basically the same thing as Heritage. Basically call it Heritage Update, like Topps Update. Just an updated checklist. So like for this year, you're going to see Heritage is generally an earlier product in the year. So we didn't see Jackson Merrill, Jackson Churio, Paul Skeens, any of the big rookies that got called up during the year. So this year's Heritage high number should be a pretty big release because of those autos that you're looking to chase. It's a good product, but basically it's the same thing. Not too much to say about it outside of that. Topps Archives just came out. Paper cards. It's a throwback design similar to Heritage. However, they use multiple designs. Heritage picks 1 year, and it just kind of goes year by year by year. So I think this year was the 75 design, if I'm remembering correctly. Whereas Archives, there's, generally 2, 3, 4 different throwback sets that they're going and kind of paying homage to. Fairly affordable, fairly available because there's hobby and retail. Not great market value, but it is a fun product to rip. Allen and Ginter. Now, my score on Allen and Ginter may, depending on who you are, may or may not be a hot take. There's not really much market value to Allen and Ginter. It's a really quirky set. As you can see, the Triceratops card here. That card sells fairly well, but the general rookie cards of the players don't tend to do great. Quirky cards and checklists, you're getting, of course, all your baseball players, but then you get some other players or some celebrities or things like that. So it's a unique checklist. It's, I think, the oldest brand in cards. They started in like the 1800s. So it's a fun, quirky rip, but the market value, as well as I think that the hobby boxes in particular are a little overpriced just given what they offer and in comparison to the market value. So kind of a lower end set in my mind. Museum collection. I personally really like Museum. My grade may not necessarily reflect how much I like it, but I wanted to be fair, or as fair as I could be in terms of its numbers and grades here. It's a mid to high end product. We're talking $400 or $500 a box. Thicker card stock, hobby only, but you're getting 4, I think, hits per box generally. Really cool stuff like, dual relics here, Ichiro and Ken Griffey Jr. For a mid-high-end product, it is fairly available. They do make the print run pretty solid. So it's easier to find post-release. Some products dry up very quickly. This one is not one that's the case. Good market value, middle of the road, but it's not great. Not for what its prices are. But I think it's a lot of fun because you're getting some really cool, unique patches and autos, relics, things like that. Triple threads, very similar to Museum Collection, but their kind of big thing is the relics that they're known for, specifically triple relics, as you might expect by the name. It's a little less available. The print run tends to be a little smaller, which, good and bad. The price point is fairly high. This year was $450, so a little bit more than Museum. Market value is okay. Again, I don't think that it necessarily tracks for how expensive the box is, and it's fairly fun, but it's good, not great, is my mind. Tier 1 is one of those products that has high risk. You can see 2 autographs, 1 relic, and 1 base card per box, so 4 cards total. It's a little pricey. It's not horrible price-wise. It's not a $500 box, but it's also not super affordable. Middle-of-the-road availability. It is a hobby-only product, but the print run tends to be decent-ish. Market value, I don't think is really there. It's not as good as Triple Threads or as Museum or any of the other similar products. It's kind of fun because there does have some really unique relics, as you can see down here, the Acuna, the Aaron Judge. There's some cool stuff in Tier 1. It just is, I don't know, middle of the road for me. 5-star is basically the same as Tier 1. Honestly, I have a hard time differentiating between the two on a quick look. It's basically the same product. So, yeah. Pro Debut is an interesting one. Imagine Bowman, but they weren't in professional uniforms and you didn't get the first Bowman cards. It's a lower end product. It's a mix of paper and chrome cards, but it's all prospects. No pro uniform, hobby only, so you're not going to find it at any retail stores. It is really affordable. You can get a 4 auto box for like $150, if that. The print run is not as large. The market value is not necessarily there. It's a fun rip, but because of the lower market value, I don't think it's a super fun rip. So take that for what it is. Big League is a really interesting one. Really polarizing. Super low end. Probably the lowest end product that Topps makes. All paper cards. It is targeted at kids. It's as simple as that. So the market value really is not there. The price is pretty good. I mean, a hobby box, which is what you're looking at here, $40. You're not getting a guaranteed hit, but again, you're getting, 18 packs, 8 cards per pack, whatever it is, for $40. It's not bad. quirky inserts, things like that. It's a fun-ish product, but the lower market value for me as somebody who is looking for probably some market value hurts its overall score. Topps Pristine is an interesting one. I wasn't really sure where to categorize this one. It's a mid/high-end product. It's a $500 box. All chrome cards, really unique format. And then when you open the box, there are, I think, 6 packs. But then each pack has a pack inside of that pack, and then that pack has a pack inside of that pack. So it's like packs on packs on packs, which is fun. And I think that adds to some of the fun score. If it was just regular, it'd probably be even lower. The market value to me does not match up with the price. So that's, I think, what hurts it the most. If this was a $300, $350 box, I would love it. Design is cool, has some really unique inserts. But where it sits right now, I buy some singles, and that's basically it. Topps Finest is a nice set. They did a good job this year with it. It's more of a mid-end set. All chrome cards, on-card autos. Topps Finest is a very popular design. Topps Finest is actually the first set that ever had a refractor in it. So it is kind of a bit of a throwback, pays homage to some of the older Topps Finest sets. Pretty good price point. This is a box that's a couple $100, $200-$300. Pretty available. Market value's good-ish, and it is fun. So I think it's a solid product, definitely one worth considering. I like Bowman's Best over Topps Finest personally, but different people I've ever taken there, I just like that you get more hits, basically. Same price, essentially, but you get more hits. Finest Flashbacks, this is a really unique one. Really bad score, but it's actually a product that I kind of like, personally. But that's just where some personal perspectives come in here. And that's that it's a mid-end set. It tends to be a little expensive, a couple $100 a box. All chrome cards. It's a throwback set in a true sense of a throwback set. AKA, if you open a box of cards in the 90s, it was you get one refractor per box. The rest of the box is base cards, basically. So you don't get a guaranteed auto in these boxes. You get one parallel, and that's it. So hits and few are few and far in between. But when you do hit a cool card, it's cool. But the market value is just not necessarily there for it, which is why I think that it got hurt on a score. It's fun, but it takes the right person, I think, is my perspective on it. One of the best sets that Topps makes, I think this is tied for the best score with Bowman's Best, potentially, is Stadium Club. It's a lower mid-end product. It's very affordable because of that. Paper stock card. There are some chrome cards. Topps used to make a separate set called Stadium Club Chrome. I think they're just leaning towards into just doing Stadium Club. It's photography focused, so really, really good pictures on each of the cards. It is a legacy product. They've been making Stadium Club for a while. There's hobby and retail, so it is fairly available. There's also multiple formats. You've got fat packs. You've got blaster boxes. You've got these hobby boxes that are like hobby light, essentially. You get one auto instead of two, and then you got a hobby box. So lots of different stuff. Very, very easy to find, available out there. Market value is middle of the road. It's not as good as Bowman or as Topps Chrome or some of those nicer ones, but because it's so popular, I think it does do fairly well. A Stadium Club, to me, is one of the best products that Topps makes. Moving on to some of the online releases, Topps Black and White is a really, really fun product. It's lower to mid-end. It's the Topps Now card stock if you've ever bought Topps Now cards. So they're not paper cards, but they're not chrome cards, kind of in between. It is an online exclusive. So you're not going to find this at your local hobby shop, most likely, unless they buy it themselves off of Topps Online. It does have a shorter print run because it is a Topps Online exclusive, but it is sticker autos. It is very photography focused, so very similar to Stadium Club, but all the cards are in black and white instead of color. Pretty affordable in my opinion. It's like $150 a box, which is pretty solid. Not the most available because it is online, but everybody has an equal shot at getting it. Market value is pretty middle of the road. It is a lot of fun though. Next online one is Brooklyn Collection. This one doesn't really do it for me. It's an online exclusive, smaller print run, thicker cards. Price is in, availability is in, market value is in. It's kind of fun, but it's one that I didn't rip any of this year, to kind of put that in perspective. Dynamic Duels is one that I do like. Comes in at a solid price point. Not the most available. I think it had a smaller print run than Black and White did. All of the cards are duals, so you're getting 2 players on each card. Each box has a dual auto in it, which is pretty cool, which is what makes it fun. I like the dual cards. I like that. But the market value and the availability are really where it hurts it here. So I think it's a good product, but it's not the best. Topps Rip, very niche. If you like the Allen and Ginter Rip cards, where basically there's a card within a card, it's quirky and fun. It tends to be pretty expensive. I'm talking like $100+ a box for 4 cards. You're not guaranteed an auto. It has a really short print run, which means that it's not really available. The market value is not great. It is fun, but to me, the fun is the really only thing that props this product up. So for me, Rip is one that I probably will not rip much of. Moving into some of our high-end sets now. Topps Luminaries, it's a high-end product. 1 card box, very high risk, high reward, but the market values you see, I don't think the market value on Luminaries cards justifies its pricing. You can get some really cool Luminaries cards for well less than the price of a box. And it's hard to get a cool hit like this, 10 autos on 1 card. If you hit something massive, it's a really cool card, but I don't think that its market value matches up with its price, which is why it really gets hurt. 1 card box also limits the fun in my mind, especially when it doesn't have the super high-end potential. Topps Definitive, this is one of Topps' best sets for their high-end products. Thick cards, ultra high-end. I think this just went on sale for like $2,000+ a box. All hits, basically. You get 7 or 8 cards in a box, and every single one of them is a auto, relic, etc. Hobby only. Very hard to get. Very hard in terms of how expensive it is. The market value generally is great because these cards sell for a lot. Even the cards, and I know this Altuve is a 101, but even those just cool relics tend to do good numbers. It doesn't necessarily match up with the super high ceiling, but I think these do sell a lot better individually card-wise compared to, say, Luminaries, which we just did. It is a fun product. I think it's a product that if you're going to do, you're probably breaking it. Topps Tribute, I'm not a huge Tribute fan, honestly. They kind of have that acetate finish, so it's very easy for them to get scratched up. It's hard to grade. It's a thicker card. Hobby only. It's a mid-high-end product. It's $500-600 for a box. Price isn't great. Availability is kind of The market value is not really there. It's kind of fun. I don't know. I'd skip it. Diamond Icons is a unique one. Really high-end product. It has some super cool relics. So like here, you can see a Pete Alonso cleat relic. So they cut up a cleat that he used during a game. Super, super similar to Definitive. Really, I think that they're cut from the same cloth in the way that some of the other products are very, very similar, like Tier 1 and 5-star. So it's good. I prefer Definitive a little bit because I think that Definitive's kind of base autos, like the Diamond Icons base autos here, tend to not do super well. So I think it gets hurt a little bit, but still a cool product. Topps Dynasty, crazy high risk, crazy high reward. These boxes last year were like $1,000-1,100 a box. You get 1 card, but each card is a guaranteed patch auto. You get some crazy cool ones like this Acuna 101 with the postseason relics. I've got a couple of cool Sotos that I own. They're all sealed in a 1-touch, but it's a 1-card box. It is really fun because they are really, really cool cards. Every single one of them generally has a really nice patch. You're not going to see any napkin patches. The market value on them is really good, but the price and availability, print run is really low, which means the aftermarket on them can be tough, which just hurts its overall score. Then, I think last but not least is Topps Transcendent, and this is ultra high-end, like $10,000+ a box. Some unique things. Each box comes with an invite to the Transcendent VIP party, which you'll see some cards potentially sometimes in the market from that party. Those are really, really cool. There's generally some athletes that are there that are doing meet and greets and signings. It's something that I've debated doing before. We'll see if maybe I do it some year as like a business adventure, content, etc. But it's generally breaker exclusive. You're not likely to find it just walking into your local card store, so its availability is rough. What it's known for, You get tons of cool cards, guaranteed 1/1s, things like that. The cut autos are also very, very cool. Here you've got a Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton. Just unique, super cool. The market value on the cards does tend to be really good because it's so expensive and so hard to come across of. It is a super fun product because of all the hits and how crazy cool the cards are, but the price and availability just really, really hurt it. And so I think that's all the major Topps product releases. Now I skip some of the more niche things, some of the, not talking about Topps Now cards, things like that. Those are most of the cards that you're going to see breakers have, see card shops have, things like that. Basically, I think the moral of the story is there's a lot of middle of the road sets that my recommendation is figure out which ones you like and open and collect those. My tip out to people always when people ask me, who should I buy? What set should I open? Figure out what you like. If you like it, there's probably a decent chance somebody else likes it, which means that there's going to be a market for it. For me, as you saw, my kind of two favorites are Stadium Club as well as Bowman's Best. But other people will not feel the same way. I know people who do not like Bowman's Best. I know people who do not like Stadium Club, and that's fine. I think that's the reason why there's so many cards and so many things out. It's really tough because we know that long-term, you really need to have the right cards from the right set for it to truly hold its value. I think that the safest ones are Topps Chrome and Bowman Chrome. Right here, just Bowman in general, having the first Bowman Chrome card of a player, to be more specific. But overall, there's a lot of really cool stuff out there. I think each set in its own right is worth considering. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for and what your goals are out of it. I'm sure that I also probably missed something. If I missed a set, let me know down in the comments. I appreciate you guys checking out the video. I'm hoping to do more kind of, breakdowns, educational things like that, as well as, of course, lots of fun box openings, business, behind the scenes, etc. So it means a lot for all you guys that are watching. If you don't mind, subscribe, comment. All the engagement helps a ton. Appreciate you guys checking it out and making it to this point. I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you guys are going to see in the future. Appreciate you guys checking the video. Catch you in the next one.